Hello and welcome to Long Time No See, the podcast. Coming to you from Gold Digger's recording studio in Los Angeles, California. We'll be getting to know some of your favorite comedians a little bit better, and so will they. Each week's guests have no idea who the other guests will be, so without further ado, please remove your blindfolds and introduce yourselves. Your mics are right there, by the way. Yeah.
Hey.
There we go.
In case you missed that, we don't actually know each other.
No, but I was worried that we had met, and because you were just very chipper when you said hey.
Yeah, well, I'm from the Midwest. That's how we do it. But I self-diagnosed myself with face blindness, and this happens all the time. Where I'm like, hi, and like I just
it's
pretend,
those big eyes.
I pretend like I know everyone.
Yeah.
Because so often I've been told like we've met 8 times.
I've come up with a foolproof, semi-foolproof method, because I've also been told we've met several times. Is I don't say nice to meet you anymore. That's out of my lexicon. I can't do it anymore. I've been burned too many times by nice to meet you, so now I say good to see you. Very ambiguous.
There you are.
Hey, buddy.
Once again, probably.
Nice. So you guys have never met before. We're bringing people together here at Long Time No See. I got a couple of questions for you. The first one that hopefully you can relate over is, what was your most recent bomb, and how did it compare to your worst bomb on stage?
Oh. Most recent bomb. I don't bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. How
yeah.
crazy is
Yeah.
that?
No,
Oh,
I
we have the
definitely.
two best
We're both
comedians in
just
the
so
world.
good. What's
Yeah.
your name, by the way?
Oh, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Ryan
Goldsher.
Goldsher, and I'm Natasha Collier.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Nice to meet
For
you.
the audience at home.
Maybe you go first, because I think if you tell me, it might jog my most recent.
Well, here's
bomb.
the thing. My most recent bomb was my worst bomb.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And
2 for 1.
we're talking like pure bomb too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
you're
just
just no
nothing.
coming back
Yeah.
from it. But it was my worst bomb was my most recent. My worst was my most recent bomb. It was at the Hollywood Improv main room, and Tim Dillon was on this lineup, as I'm a huge fan, you know, and so was everyone else in this audience. And they put me right after him, and you know what? That's just not my crowd. Those 20-year-old boys who love yelling, that's just not me, you know? And so I guess that I kind of answered your question
Yeah.
in one.
Yeah, there
Is
you
your
go.
comedy edgy?
No, it's not particularly edgy, and he did so good.
He's fantastic.
He's so good.
But I think you can't follow edge with no edge.
I know, and that's
really
the thing.
hard.
But here's the thing: I didn't know I was following him until about 10 minutes before the show, because someone else was supposed to follow them, and then they, I think, made the correct decision to be like, I gotta go first, so I gotta get out of here, and that bumped me up. And then I realized I was like, I don't think this is gonna
That was
go
your
very
worst.
well.
Betrayed, yeah.
I was probably one of my worst bombs. At least
Got
I've had we've all had a few, but
Oh, 100%.
yeah, but that's the first one that comes to mind, and probably will come to mind for the
Years to
rest of
come.
my life.
Kind of going off that, not being able to follow edge,
Mhm.
I cannot follow alt.
It's tough
That was one of my worst bombs ever. Was
following alt.
some guy did a alt, like, anti-comedy, like, really bad on purpose character,
Mm-hmm.
and I went after it, and it was dead silence in a very small room. You
That's
could just
tough.
see everyone's face not laughing.
I would say, I don't know if that's better or worse than dead silence in a very big room, which was what happened to me.
I'm trying to make you feel better. And
I appreciate that. I've made my peace with not sharing much of a crowd with Tim Dillon, and I'm okay with that.
that's fine.
It's just, I think we're opposites in every way.
How
Yeah.
recent was that?
I was in August.
Okay, you've recovered. That's
I've recovered.
That was
I've-
Yeah.
It was also one of my first shows after I moved to LA. I think that's what made it a particularly bad bomb, because
Yeah.
I was like, welcome to the city, baby.
I'm not made for this place.
I know. I was just like, I had it too good for too long, and then it just threw me onto an all celebrity line. It wasn't just Tim Dillon on there either. Craig Robinson was on this lineup, and Marcelo Hernandez went right before Tim Dillon.
That's
So
just
the
a
crowd
lot of
was
energy.
rolling.
You also, you plural cannot follow Craig Robinson.
I
It's
didn't. No, yeah.
impossible.
Craig Robinson, I think, was closing the show out.
Always does.
I think that would have been ridiculous to put him anywhere else in the lineup.
After
But
45 minutes of piano,
Yeah.
now it's my turn. So okay, that's a good bomb. I think my worst bomb, probably during COVID, I did a show in a parking lot of a car wash, and I just ate it the whole time. The way they brought me on stage is like the worst
Did
way.
you eat it, or you couldn't hear anybody?
Because of the
Or they're in their cars? Were they in their cars?
No, they were outside.
Oh, I
but-
did some parking lot shows where people were full on in their cars.
Oh, nightmare.
They would flash their
Did they
lights.
they
Or
honk. Or
no.
flash light,
The
yeah.
honking broke the noise ordinances.
Oh,
So
okay.
we resorted to
Flash their
flashing
lights
the
to laugh.
lights, which was something, And it was when there was
Take
nothing
that.
else to do, you just kind of went up and performed for
Yeah.
cars.
better than Zoom.
Yes, I got brought up in the worst way. So I do a lot of celebrity impressions, and
Sick.
that night I did not want to do that many, because it's like an aspect of what I like to do. And they brought me up. They're like, "This is one of the best impressionists in the world. He is going to do every voice you've ever heard of. Give it up for Ryan Goldsher." I was like, are you kidding me? Like, so I just like flipped on. I was like, "Oh, here's Will Ferrell like opening a box of chocolates." And it's like, wow, gumdrops, whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Good.
Thank you. But that I did horrible, and that was another edgy crowd. This one comedian before me was a man I've never seen before who said the N-word. He was not black.
I wouldn't have been a story if he was.
After my bomb, comes up to me and he goes, "You want some tips?"
Oh my.
No, actually.
Oh my god! When people come up to you after the bomb, there's nothing you could do. I had a friend who was there at the improv show, and I went up to him, and we were both just like, yeah, that was it. He just goes, a worse comic would have bombed harder.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Glass half milk. That's great.
One time I wouldn't say this was a worse bomb, but it was like a show where everyone was bombing. Like the crowd was just not into anything anyone was saying. And it was like a primarily college crowd. So, those are kind of hit or miss. But after the show, all the comics were kind of by the door and just kind of being like, yeah, that was rough, right? And then a group of girls walked behind us. And then one of them said to the other, and she goes, "Well, some of the jokes were funny."
Well, some of them.
And this was like 4 years ago, and I still think about that moment.
Oh, well, some of the jokes were funny.
Because she dragged her friends to that show, and they were all like, "Why did you do
it
that?"
was at a college.
It was at a college. It was a brewery, but it was
At a
in a college town.
for
So
sure. Sweet. That was
Yeah.
that.
If you were headlining a comedy tour with historical figures, who would be on your lineup?
I went first last time.
Yeah.
I'm told of a very traumatic moment. So
George W. Bush is the host.
Nice.
He's the most unintentionally funny person.
he really is.
I think humans and fish should coexist peacefully.
Wow.
That's the funniest thing
really
ever.
good.
Busting them out left and right.
He'd be the
There you
host.
go, yeah.
So Bush hosts. Then I want someone not alive to feature. First thought was Amelia Earhart. That would be a good 25. I would like to know what's going on.
Where you been?
Where you been? And then I do 45. I feel like I'm a
Of
good.
pure celebrity impressions.
Yes, he is the best in the world. Here's it is. I don't know if Amelia Earhart's a good one. Okay, but that's my host. Maybe let's go host, feature.
Host. I mean, my mind always goes to presidents, and I do think it would be kind of fun to just have all the founding fathers on the same show because they did hate each other, and I think that would be kind of a fun dynamic. And then I just close it out with some hot takes.
With
Nice.
some hot takes. They did hate each other despite being the exact same person.
Right, exactly.
But
I'm like,
he's an
can't we
Episcopalian.
just all find common ground on how much we love slaves? Like,
You all have slaves. You are all white guys
it's a
with
pretty
slaves.
big thing to have in common.
You all live in Virginia. Like, what are you arguing about?
They wear the funny wigs, same fashion sense and everything.
Yeah.
But they just had slightly different ideas on how large the federal government should be.
Which they
So
thought,
yes, my answer will be all of the people whose face is on Mount Rushmore, and
Nice.
they will all do a tight 10, and then I'll just kind of get
And
in
then
there at
come
the
in,
end.
nice.
Yeah, we'll do it shotgun style, no host.
No.
Yeah. It's
Coming up
round
next,
robin.
Teddy Roosevelt.
I want to see each of their introductions for
each
the
other,
other
yeah.
person.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll stick with Bush, and then I'll say
Bush,
George W. Bush.
W.
Osama bin Laden.
Yes, I'm a
Do
good
you have an
mix.
impression for?
I haven't done Osama in a long time.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay.
I don't have an Osama. I
Damn.
would not care to learn that. But, yeah.
You guys ready for another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you met your 13-year-old self, but you could only say 3 words to them, what would you say and why?
Stop doing that. Whatever it is, just stop
Did it
doing
all
that.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, you know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like, here's the thing. I don't know what she's gonna be doing when I go back in time and meet her, but whatever she's doing, she's got to just cut it out.
Enough. Yeah.
I would say. I wanted to say don't download Instagram,
That's a good one.
but that's our careers now. But I think I would have
But
been.
it didn't have to be in high school.
It wouldn't have been.
How old are you?
28.
Okay, so similar. I'm 27, so I
Yeah.
think we both had Instagram kind of ruin our teenage.
Yeah, I would say don't
years.
download Instagram.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I would have been just like a happy, business.
My life would
man.
have been so much easier.
I would have been a librarian or something. It would have been no stress. I don't have to
Would've
post
read
clips.
more.
No clips. I would have been happier. But yeah,
Nice. Those are 2 great ones. Quit that and don't download Instagram. Great advice. Not using a scale of 1 to 10, how attractive are you?
could I use like an appetizer at a restaurant?
Right, perfect. Yeah.
I'm shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp cocktail.
Elaborate.
Shrimp cocktail hot.
It's like nobody's favorite, but
You'll eat it when it's
if it's there, you're like, yeah, shrimp cocktail. It's fun.
Yeah, I had a like on sale, like it's at full price. You're gonna probably debate whether or not is to put it back on the shelf. But if it's on sale, even just if it's like it inflated pricing initially, you're just like, I got a deal.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. What's the dumbest thing someone's come up to you after a show and said?
I actually was thinking about this when we were talking about bombs. Anytime I host a show, someone says the stupidest things. Like someone told me, like, "Thanks for setting this up." I'm like, I don't own the venue. I just was the first comedian. So I would say that's probably actually, the better one was, "You were pretty funny. You should be one of the comedians."
Yeah, I've gotten that too, and I'm like, what did you think I just did for 10 minutes?
I think you just riffed that Kamala Trump bit, and I just own this restaurant or this club. So I'd say you should be one of the comics is the
That's
worst,
good.
the stupidest thing I've heard.
I've gotten you're just too smart for them.
Oh, that's.
And I don't know if it doesn't feel like a compliment when I get it.
And who
Was
said
that
that?
another
Your mom,
comic?
your mom or your dad?
Just random audience members who I've gotten at least a couple times where you're just like, that was just too smart for them, and I'm just like, all right, so crowds are just too dumb for my comedy.
This was not the Tim
Which
Dillon
I
show.
don't think is particularly. You don't need to be that smart to understand my comedy. I think honestly, some of them are pretty dumb. And
How would you describe your comedy?
I-
On a scale of from dry to wet,
Yeah.
not using a number.
I would say moist.
Nice.
Moist. Yeah. Listen, I am like not about to drip wet.
Nice. Damn.
Not dry humor.
Yeah, moist is what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
Is there a common thread between all of your exes?
That we're not together.
That they know you.
Oh, this is kind of sad. I talked to none of them. I have no relationship with any of them. And it wasn't like nasty breakups, but I just have not. It's just over. No friendship.
Yeah, I don't talk to any of mine either. Common thread? I can't really think of it. I've tried a few different flavors. I feel like once you're done with one, you try to go polar opposite and see
Yeah.
maybe this is what works for me, and it's not.
Sure. None of mine. Some of them are taller than me. Most short. Like it's all over the place.
They're all of them all taller than
Have you
me.
dated someone shorter than you?
briefly in high school, and it didn't work out for
And you went polar opposite.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama
Oh,
was the
yeah.
next guy.
I did try shorter, but that
Do you
was
date men or women?
men.
Okay. I don't know you.
Yeah, that's true. So that was a
Yeah.
that was a good question.
idea.
Yeah, all men.
Yeah.
It's all men.
There you go. There's a thread.
There's a thread.
y-
all men, all tall. Oh, except for one. Yeah.
Except for one.
facial hair, actually. Now that I'm
They
thinking,
all
for,
have
the,
facial
for the
hair?
major ones, yeah.
Nice.
What about glasses? On and off with glasses? How's their vision?
Last one had glasses, but that's the only one.
Okay. I've
The
never
latest
dated.
one, great vision.
I've only dated good vision. No one with
Oh,
glasses.
so no one with glasses. Okay, there's another
Yeah.
thread. Perfect. Do you guys have any wild stand-up fantasies other than
Like sexually?
George W. and
Then George W.
Yeah.
Bush opening.
yeah?
I used to have venues in mind.
Like Madison Square Garden.
You know, this is going to be really stupid, but maybe it's not. I've always wanted a headline sold out Zany's Nashville. Is that silly?
You can
It's
dream
I
bigger
just-
than that, you know?
Specific, yeah.
I just feel like that's like, wow, you are very established,
Uh-huh.
and that your things are going great.
More than Zany's Chicago?
I've done Zany Chicago, not headline, but I don't know. That's not my favorite room in the world. It's
Your
kind
favorite room in the world is Zany's Nashville.
No, I've never performed there.
Oh, okay. So you don't
Never
even know
been.
if you like Zany's Nashville.
No, but I think my ego would like that. Of like,
Mhm.
this is a big. There's like 300 people there. It's like a big venue. The Dolby theater would be amazing.
Yeah, the Dolby Theater would be dope.
That's like when you're like, whoa, you're like.
You
past
said
me.
wild stand-up fantasies in general. It doesn't have to
Oh,
be
yeah.
venue
You
specific.
could be opening for someone or like a crowd size or something like that.
True.
My for a long time, and I am trying to dream bigger now, but like for a long time, it like doesn't even have to be a specific comedian, but to be taken on the road for a theater tour
Oh yeah.
and to be a feature for that.
Yeah.
To just do 20 minutes in a theater, not have to worry about the ticket sales, not have to worry about any of the bullshit, just do it and get paid well because it's a theater tour,
Yeah.
and just be on the road with like a crusher.
I feel like that's like extremely achievable.
I mean, but here's the thing.
there's
I
a
feel like
path
there's
to that.
only there sure is, but I feel like there's only like percentage wise to the rest of like headlining comedians. There's only a handful that are touring theaters,
Correct. Yeah.
and so I feel like the pool of the people who could pay you well enough to make that a sustainable thing to do for a year or however long the theater tour is fairly small.
Yeah. And both of us sort of hinted at the fact that we don't want to have to sell our own tickets. We want it to already be done.
Yes.
'Cause-
I mean, that's the best part about being a feature is you just show up and you're just like,
no
it's not my
pressure."
crowd.
Not my problem.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah. Those venues come to mind. Maybe like is there a specific comic you'd want to open for?
I don't know if there's like probably a handful of comics that I would be
Oh, for
very
sure.
honored to open for, but yeah, no, I don't.
No. I want to open for Nate Bargatze.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be
Although
awesome.
I feel like he's clean, so
I'm clean too.
I'm not super dirty, but I probably wouldn't want to be restricted to be just clean,
Yeah.
especially as a feature. If you're opening for a clean comic, you have to be clean as a feature.
Yeah. I throw like some swears in there,
Yeah,
but I don't do any like sex jokes because I'm afraid of sex. It's scary.
it's
It's horrifying.
You think it's scary for you?
If you guys were a ghost and you could haunt one specific location, where would it be and how would you mess with people? Or it can be one celebrity.
One location, and how would we mess with people?
You mean like either a location or a celebrity to haunt?
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
I think it would be really fun to be a ghost in a place where you wouldn't really expect a ghost, like a Target or something.
Mhm.
You know,
What
just
would that
like
Target do to
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
I don't.
So you just want to witness what's going on in the Target? Because you're not, or you want to mess with the
to
Target?
mess with the Target because you don't go to a Target and expect to see a ghost.
No.
If it's like haunted hotel, it's like it's like, yeah, you and the other 8 ghosts here snooze. You know,
I would do like a bowling alley.
bowling alley would be funny.
Just mess with people. Push-
Haunted bowling alley.
Yeah, move their ball, ruin a perfect game.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, that'd be great.
Nice. Do you guys think that people are born funny or is it a learned skill?
Ooh. I think you're born predisposed to be able to be funny, but I do think that it is a learned skill.
Yeah, I think you're born into a situation that has to make you funny,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, have you heard that the youngest sibling tends to be the funniest one?
I've heard middle sibling tends to be the
Oh.
funniest one.
I've heard youngest. I'm the youngest, so
Mhm.
maybe I'm projecting. But the theory that I've heard is that they have to catch up quickly and keep up with their siblings and establish value despite being like smaller and younger and less experienced, and they find that through like being funny.
I've heard like it's middle child because middle child syndrome means you have to try your best to get attention, and that's how you be funny.
Are you a middle child?
I'm an oldest.
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 So
Well-
I feel like I don't think I was as predisposed to be funny as I could have been.
I also had less pressure though. I feel like the oldest gets the most pressure to do a specific career.
Sure.
They get all the go to college, work really hard. We want you to have the best grades, and your parents give up by the time it's the youngest.
Yeah.
So they
Well,
kinda
I'm
let you-
I'm an oldest of two, so it's pretty
Mhm.
cut and dry dynamic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. But I just heard the middle child is the funniest.
Funny one.
No, my parents
Oh.
gave up. They let me go wild.
That's
They
dope.
both make
that
sense
must be
to me.
nice.
Is there any job that you would be terrible at?
Most of them.
Oh yeah,
Underwater welder.
true.
I don't know how to
Don't say
scuba
that about
dive nor
yourself.
weld.
Don't say that.
So
As long as I've known you, I would have. You would have been great at that.
Yeah.
Really?
Um,
Aw.
I am not detail oriented, which is something a lot of people won't admit. But
Yeah, I mean it's on my resume for
I'm
sure.
straight up
Detail
not.
oriented. I
Mhm.
don't even know what that means, to be completely honest.
like I don't proofread emails. I don't like go through and make sure all the numbers are right when I'm doing something. I'm just like, it's done now. So accountant, I'd be the world's worst accountant. Your
That's good.
company would fail.
Yeah.
You'd be like, where did all the money go? I was like, oh, I didn't check.
Definitely an area where the details matter with the money. If you had to eat 10 pounds of any food in one sitting, what would it be?
Ooh, I've come close to that. I go to Korean barbecue every week.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Every week?
Yeah,
Nice.
I really hope my doctor doesn't watch this, but
Every week you
Every
go to
week.
Korean barbecue. Which one?
it's called Soul Barbecue. I went there for
Been to
my
that one.
birthday on December 10th. You didn't wish me a happy birthday,
I'm
but
so
that's
sorry.
fine.
Happy
So I-
belated.
Could probably do 10 pounds of Korean barbecue or sushi.
I did do
Good.
Korean barbecue for my birthday, January 1st, which is more recent. You also didn't.
Well,
wish
because
me
we were
happy
fighting.
birthday.
We weren't
That's
talking
right.
at that time.
That's right, because I didn't wish you a happy birthday.
You're a
Now we're
January
even.
1st
I
baby,
am a January 1st baby.
so no birthday.
Yeah.
You
right?
just don't have a birthday.
I know. It's terrible.
But you just get to follow the year. When
Yeah,
you were
which
born
is
in 97.
8.
98. Okay. I'm 96.
Sick.
So I'm a
I
late
was
96.
one day away from being 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just
Um,
follow the year and -2, and that's your age.
Yeah, pretty much.
How about that?
So it's at least it's nice to like calculate my age during what year it was. It's pretty easy because I don't have to be like, well, was it before March 22nd or after March? You know,
Yep.
I know exactly how old I was during any given year.
So do you make a whole thing that New Year's is your birthday?
I try to sneak it into conversation at whatever New Year's Eve party I'm at.
Even if you're a +4, you're
yeah,
the fourth
yeah,
plus
yeah, yeah.
one.
I'm like, hey guys, oh, it's my birthday in 2 hours. That's crazy. Sometimes I'll get a birthday song at midnight. That's fun. Probably the most fun thing about that birthday.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a tough one. But there's never gonna be work on your birthday.
That's true. But then it's also like my birthday's a federal holiday, so most things are closed anyway.
Ah.
So it's not like, I don't know, some people get to like, people take their birthday off from work, but I
already
don't get
off.
an additional day off.
Yeah.
No. Have you ever done a New Year's Eve show?
No, actually, not at least in
have
the last
not-
few years.
I heard they're horrible.
Yeah, they've never been particularly good. I like went to a friend's New Year's Eve show a couple of years ago. That sucked.
Everyone just hammered? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's
yeah, it was-
hammered. No one's really paying attention to the show. People are just kind of reevaluating their lives in the audience, being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I gotta lose weight, you know?
Oh, I thought of my most recent bomb. Finally.
New Year's Eve?
No, it was December. I did a holiday party.
Oh,
Total bomb.
Corporate or?
Oh.
A charity. A
Mm.
charity holiday party where no one was expecting comedy. They didn't tell them I was the only person speaking. So it was just a bunch of people at a cocktail party, and they just got a mic and were like, hey, we have a comedian. And I did 15 minutes. Like, who the hell is this guy?
You want to know? Oh,
Horrible.
actually, that did remind me of a bomb I had. Maybe it was like a year ago. It was a birthday party,
Nice.
and it was someone's 40th birthday party, and it was about 15 people, none of whom's English was their first language. And there was also about another 15 children just like running around and like kicking balls.
Was it a fourth birthday party?
No, this was a 40th. It was one of the parents' birthday party. It was the owner of the house birthday party.
Okay.
But they had kids, and the kids all invited their friends, and then they were running around and stuff. And then they had told us, they were like, because it was a friend who'd booked it and then brought me along to like open, and which was great because I had to cold open
a birthday
the
party.
birthday party and slowly realized during my set how little they spoke English.
What did they speak?
They were Argentinian, a lot of them. A lot of them like spoke English, but like it's they wasn't really
American
getting the
humor is not their
references.
first humor. Yeah.
And they had said in the original booking that they wanted it to be a dirty show. And then when we get there, there's all these kids running around, and we were like, "What's up with that?" And they were like, "Oh, don't worry, the kids will be inside for the show." It was like a 45-minute long situation, and so eventually, once we got started, they made the kids go inside. But like when you tell a group of kids, "Hey, stay inside for 45 minutes," they're not like stoked about that.
Yeah.
So like every 5 minutes, a couple would like pop in and like try to like see what was going. And I was just in the backyard on grass well, everyone was like this was at night, but and then everyone was either like sitting cross-legged on the lawn or like in lawn chairs
All their backs
or
were
standing
hurting.
with their beers just being like, what are you doing here?
Okay.
And it was and so I talked to them most of the time because I was like, I'm not just gonna do my jokes.
What's the deal with doggy style? Don't you want my dirty jokes?
They did at the end. They were like, we loved that. They enjoyed it very much, but they weren't verbally,
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it was
You
very.
did 15, your friend did 30? Or?
I did 20, and my friend did 30. Yeah.
That's absurd.
Backdoor comedy. Do you guys have a go-to on stage outfit?
Used to, and I gave that up, and I'm very happy I did. I used to be collared shirt tucked in, dress pants comedian. Nightmare.
Very,
And this
very
was
business
like
casual.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that was who I was talking to here. A collared shirt, dress pants
this was
comedian.
like 6 years. This was like 2 years in, like the first 2 years of me doing comedy. I was like, time for the big show. Got to dress up nice. So now my outfit is it's super casual. I also think it benefits me because when you're dressed like super casual and I'm doing like George Bush, they're like, what the what kind of guy is this? Because usually like an impressionist is wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah, something fancy.
So I like being a more casual guy. But anyways.
I go casual too. I would usually big t-shirt or hoodie is
Big t-shirt or hoodie? Nice.
Yeah.
No hats, either of you? Some
no.
comedians are
I'm
hat
actually
comedians.
I'm a pretty big. I'm not a really big fan of hats on comedians unless it's like part of the bit.
No, I know some comedians have hat bits, but
I know, yeah. And that's fine if it's like your thing. But I do find that more often than not, if you're just wearing a hat on stage,
It's not really, yeah.
I have no outfit.
if it's like a baseball cap too, like
Mhm.
shields your eyes.
Definitely no hat.
Yeah,
Do
no
you,
hat.
you know what I want banned, by the way?
What?
The Netflix special outfit, which is for men a bomber jacket
Mm-hmm.
and black jeans and a t-shirt. Banned. Like everyone that comes out, it's just
That's
time
very
to put
true.
on the bomber jacket.
Mhm.
Banned.
Yeah, no one. I've never seen anyone wear a bomber jacket at a regular show.
No, and those comedians never do. Like, I'm like, I've seen you.
I would be too afraid to like dress too differently for like a big show.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would be a little out of my element. Like I dress casual because then I like feel comfortable, you
Mhm.
know?
So, sweatshirt for the Netflix special, or?
I'd probably do t-shirt for the
T-shirt,
Netflix
yeah.
special. I feel like if obviously I'd be doing like an hour, and so I think a sweatshirt might get hot.
Yes. And when I'm opening for you, I'm wearing a bomber jacket.
Yeah. If you won $1 billion, what would you still not buy? Even with $1 billion.
Oh,
What would I not buy?
still
Yeah.
not.
$1 billion? I can't think of anything that would be off the table.
Yacht, too much maintenance.
Cybertruck. If
Cybertruck.
I'm
Ugh.
buy
Yeah.
$1 billion, I'm getting a Cybertruck.
Oh, you are, yes. Fantastic.
Just because I think it's funny.
I would definitely get a cool car.
Cybertruck?
No, that's not my style.
No.
For me, because
Cybertruck guy?
I'm a smaller guy, I've always liked smaller things.
So like a Mini Cooper.
Okay, no, like like a little sports car.
Oh, okay.
So like I like small, fast.
Small, fast. Okay.
Even when I play Mario Kart, I'm always Toad. Like small, fast. Would you get a private jet?
No, I don't really see the point of a private jet. Like, where do I need to go that I can't go commercial? I think I would
You're a
probably
billionaire.
still not buy a private jet.
You
Really?
say
I'd
that-
go boat before private jet.
I don't think so. I said yacht. I don't think I would ever get a yacht. Because what do you even do with it? You just
You have
like ride
parties. You
around
have
wherever
parties on it.
whatever city you're at.
You invite hot people to hang
Yeah.
out on the boat with you.
You got $1 billion. I mean,
Yeah. Everyone
Never-
has to be your friend when you have $1 billion.
Because you
And
have
a yacht.
everything, so you need more.
Yeah.
So you need friends.
You have any idea how many friends I would have if I had a boat?
That's the thing preventing you from having friends.
I think it's one of them.
She's cool, but she
No
doesn't have a
boat.
nice, I like those. What's the worst gift you've ever received or given?
I keep getting gag gifts.
Mhm.
I'm so sick of them. I got a gift of a mouse pad with my face on it. Like, I don't want that.
That's pretty good. That is very good.
I do not want that.
Last year for my work Secret Santa, I don't know if this is a worse gift. He really liked it, but it was more of but for Secret Santa you fill out a questionnaire of like your favorite things. It was like favorite musical artist, band, BT, movies, activities. And for the guy I got, he said he liked football, Quentin Tarantino movies, Black Sabbath, and like a couple other things. And I just
First ever.
yeah. And I just photoshopped all of those things onto a t-shirt and just sent that to him.
Here it is. Quentin Tarantino playing
It
football.
was really just Quentin Tarantino, the whole Black Sabbath, a football.
That's a good gift.
He thought it was very funny.
And his obviously since it's Tarantino, bare feet
Yeah.
Yes.
zoomed in.
If when you died, you got put into a room for eternity with people who died the same way, how would you want to die?
Ooh, first of all, amazing questions today.
Thank you.
So I want to be in a situation with people that have made the same mistake as me, right?
Yeah.
All the coolest people I'd want to be with after I have died of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because
you're
that
not
means
saying
that
you
I
wanna
would
die.
have to die of a drug overdose, which I don't think is the way I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
No.
But if I wanted to hang out with, Kurt Cobain, no, he didn't drive
Yeah.
the drug, but Amy Winehouse or
Hendrix, yeah.
yeah.
Just to
Mac
think
Miller.
out loud. So I've always wanted to get struck by lightning. But then there would just be like the most random group of people.
Just the most unlucky people
unluckiest,
in
yeah.
the
All, like, these
history.
1800s Midwesterners that like went farming on a bad day. Like we'd have nothing to talk about.
What about accidents during space exploration?
There you go.
Okay, so everyone would be
An astronaut.
An
yeah.
astronaut,
astronaut or like a billionaire. Or something.
or like
That
a Russian.
one Russian dog.
Yeah, the Russian dog.
There would be one dog with you.
There would be a dog. There'd be some geckos,
Yeah.
flies.
Flies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to die on the toilet. Hang out with Elvis.
Yeah.
That's
There
good.
you go.
I love Elvis.
Nice.
We'd be good.
Another drug overdose.
Yeah.
death.
Yeah,
the
there you go.
rest,
That kinda-
everyone else
yeah.
would just
Just a
look like
specifically toilet drug
be really-
overdose.
really big people. I'm like, I'm actually trying to talk to Elvis right now. I don't want to talk to you who died at like the Waffle House bathroom. But
Nice. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
ooh, like shamelessness.
That's beautiful.
That'd be so nice.
I was going ability to fly.
Oh,
Yeah.
you would be so much better than me.
Yeah. Nice. Just don't feel shame, but she can fly. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
And I'm sometimes a little ashamed of that because I can fly and everyone else can't. So
true. I'll feel like I could fly if I was shameless.
that's
If I was
true.
just doing whatever I wanted all the
Like
time.
the ability to fly emotionally.
Yeah, I'd be soaring.
Good.
But you would be flying.
If you guys were famous for something other than comedy, what would it be?
Famous. Okay.
Mhm.
So other people have to like it.
Astronaut.
I would be like one of those guys on like the History Channel who's like really good at something random. Like those restoration guys.
I'm not a big History Channel.
You haven't seen Pawn Stars?
No, actually, I haven't.
You've never even heard of Pawn Stars?
I've heard of Pawn Stars. I can't say I've ever seen an episode.
Well, that's a shame.
Okay, I'm
That's
sorry.
a downright shame.
I'll have to go. Is it on Netflix? Like, what's?
I have no clue.
Okay. Well, for someone who loves Pawn Stars as much as you do, you really don't know where it's streaming.
I would like. Oh no, I want to be like the next Steve Irwin and be like animal guy on
Animal wrangler,
on a TV show.
Yeah. For the previous question, struck by stingray.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I can hang out with Steve.
Hang on, Steve. Nice. Do you guys have any irrational fears?
Oh yeah, I do. But you can go first.
I feel like all my fears are pretty rational. Death, destruction,
Destruction, just in general.
dying alone. It's
I've
pretty.
never understood what that meant. Dying alone. Does that just mean you just aren't married?
Well, I mean, like in a deathbed and no one's around you. That's kind of what I.
Oh, is that what dying alone means?
I mean,
Like you're literally alone.
you're
Yeah.
alone.
I feel, but you always die alone, unless it's like a group suicide situation. Right?
Well,
It's-
no. Like there's sometimes everyone's at the hospital.
Sometimes
and
everyone's
then
at the
you take last breath
hospital.
or whatever.
Right. Oh, that would be very
Surrounded
nice.
by loved ones.
Yeah.
But I feel like most
Even
people
if you're
die
like in a
alone.
car crash, you're not dying alone. You're dying with the other person who crashed into you.
Is that what people say? Or like, well, at least he didn't die alone in that car crash.
He died
He
with
died
that drunk
doing what he
driver,
loved.
yeah.
Illegal U-turns.
Could have been
Yeah.
worse. There were other people innocently in the car, so that's great. My irrational fear. This is very specific. Those hooks that are in like department stores and clothing stores. I'm always afraid it's gonna catch me in the corner of my eye.
Oh, actually, I kind of feel that. Did you ever, because you're similar in age to me, did you ever watch the show 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yes.
Okay, so that is where a lot of some fears showed up in. And here's the thing, I'm not engaging in any of the activities that people were doing, but I did for a long time have the fear, and this is going to get graphic, and I'm already too deep into this, that because there was a situation where a guy was on a slip and slide, but there was I don't even know if I want to say it now. There was a nail going to the slip and slide that pulled out his intestine as he slipped, and so I've always kind of been afraid of slip and slides after that. Not that I've ever had the opportunity to go on a slip and slide past the age of 6. But if I don't think I would, just because of that episode of 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah.
I'm also afraid, and not that I ever would engage in this activity, but to die in a way that could be mistaken for autoerotic asphyxiation.
So
Naked
They-
choking.
Naked and choking
Yeah.
somehow.
they're like, she wanted this. She did this to herself.
That'd be an
that's a
interesting
big-
room.
So you have a fear of accidentally dying in a way that would be construed as being
Yeah, because then my legacy is tarnished. Nothing I do matters if I die and people think I was into autoerotic asphyxiation.
and you're
And I'm not.
assuming you're not.
And I'm not.
But
I'm not into that.
fact that you've
That's
even-
crazy.
come up with this anxiety is so there's so many steps to this anxiety even
No, I know.
occurring.
It's just that because sometimes people do autoerotic asphyxiation and then they die, and then that's their whole thing after they die. They'll
Sure.
just that's how they're remembered. And I guess in a way I'm afraid of being remembered for a stupid way that I died,
yes.
rather than the killer jokes that I write day in and day out.
That is kind of freaky because that would overshine all of it.
Your George W. Bush impression
Yeah.
gone. Nobody gives a shit.
You're like, do you remember Ryan Goldsher? The guy who tried to blow a balloon and he swallowed it and died? That's what it would be. No, he won an Oscar.
Yeah, I guess I'm afraid of dying in a very stupid way that overshadows my legacy.
life, yeah.
The guy that got hit in the head by a paper airplane and he fell and died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
What
horrible.
an idiot.
I would have said that slip and slides was irrational, but not anymore. I mean,
No,
that is
one of the more rational
Yeah.
ones.
Slip and-
that
I will
yeah,
never
okay,
go
so
on
my
one,
final
yeah.
answer, slip and
Yeah.
sides.
I'm not using one again. I mean, not that I have, but do you guys have any useless talents?
Useless talents.
Yeah.
Well, that implies there are useful ones that I have. I can make a Donald Duck noise. Is that use? Is that useful?
That's pretty good.
It's I don't. You're a
Actually,
comedian, so
that
it's
was my
useful.
try.
It's useful. Dogs love it. So
Dogs love
that's
it.
a
Oh, there
useful
you go.
one.
Was that good?
So pretty.
Yeah. Whoa, Donald. Yeah.
No, I mean, I can kind of wiggle my ears sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's part time.
Yeah. Sometimes if I'm under a lot of pressure to do it, it doesn't happen.
Doesn't work.
Part time talent. There's probably something I do at home that I'm like really good at.
I don't know if this is really a talent or something, but it's been pointed out to me as something I thought that was really normal was that I pick up things with my feet a lot.
Nice.
Just because that's kind of how I
Tarantino.
was. Well, it's just like if something's on the ground, rather than bend over and pick it up, it's so much easier to just pick it up with my feet. I do it unconsciously, and people have been like, "How did you do? Like, why did you do that?"
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm afraid
not
to say this
hard,
one because
though.
I'm going to get it wrong. A lot of times when someone's like, what time is it? I can guess, and I'm good at it.
What time is it?
I think it's 2:43.
It is 2:47.
Ah.
Pretty good.
4 whole minutes
4
off.
minutes off.
That's still pretty good.
I know, but we started this at
Yeah.
2. We could.
It
yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
been that long
Fine.
since you checked. Yeah. What would your opening line with your celebrity crush be?
Hey.
And who's your celebrity crush?
What's
Obviously,
up?
for starters.
Mrs. Obama.
Who's my celebrity crush? I feel like it changes. Right now, it's fuck, I forgot his name. The guy who plays Mr. Milchick on Severance.
I don't know. I've never seen
No,
it.
it's nobody here watched Severance.
Plays is Adam Scott?
No, what? No, this is Tamir. It's I don't remember his name, but I've
Huge
been
fan of his.
huge
Big
fan.
fan.
Yeah,
Big fan of that guy.
His smile does things to me. But he is my current celebrity crush in part just because Severance is back, so I'm watching him on my TV every week for the
Is
last 2 weeks.
But what do you say to this man with no name?
What's up, man?
Is it Tamaril Tillman?
Yes.
Yeah. That.
That was
And you would
close.
say, "What's up?"
I would say, how you doing?
Really good. He's gonna love it.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
love that.
Here's the thing. I feel like if celebrities, they get hit on all the time with probably just the most creative pickup lines. I feel like just being real with him,
Yeah.
I think that would get me further.
Little
a
Notting Hill
yeah.
situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's everyone's dream.
I know.
Mine. I really like Lisa from Blackpink. I don't know what I would say to her. She's from Thailand. So I think I would have to learn how
You
to
have to
say
learn
hello in
Thai.
Thai. But it's hard. There's like 5 different hellos in Thai. So I don't know, but I would do something. I'd do something really cool.
Do you know all 5? You know 5?
I know 0 of them.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I keep Googling it, and they're like, this is if you're saying hello to someone older than you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, I'm not dealing with that.
Too complicated. Is there a super petty hill you're willing to die on?
Oh,
Something that
sure.
doesn't matter.
So
you'd
many,
fight to
but
the
I
death.
can't think of any right now.
It's a tough on the spot question.
Petty hill. Is there any example you could give? A petty hill?
Like, tomatoes do not belong in guacamole. I will not eat
Oh.
guacamole without a with a tomato
Oh,
in
like
it.
an opinion.
Yeah. Like it's super,
That's not
I don't
necessary.
like
will die
tomatoes
on
in
this hill.
guacamole. I also don't like tomatoes in anything.
I
So
just don't like tomatoes. Yeah.
I don't like tomatoes. I was thinking of a petty hill as. I guess it's not really much of an opinion, but I was trying to research ways to shut my neighbor's power off because they kept throwing parties at night. But they moved out, so I didn't have to come to that. But I was outside looking at the electrical meters and being like, "How would I do this?"
How do I hack the mainframe? So you were a bad neighbor? Or they're bad
No, they're a
neighbors?
bad neighbor. They actually, but they did move out very recently.
Upstairs, downstairs?
Next door. I'm in an
Next door.
apartment, next door apartment.
Oh, okay. Do you go to bed super early?
No, their party started at midnight.
That's horrible.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so your opinion, no parties after midnight in your apartment building.
Yeah.
Yes, specifically in my apartment building.
That's fine. I'm trying to think of one. I don't know. I'm a vicious Titanic defender. If anyone says they don't like it, I get really mad.
The movie or the ship?
The movie. How would I describe?
The boat was good.
That was a good boat. That shit, it did not sink. Yeah, Ben Shapiro roasted to Titanic. So that was a really bad movie, and I was like, now you've crossed the line.
I do like the movie Titanic.
Everything you've said up until now was
my
great.
my OG celebrity crush was
Billy Zane.
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh.
specifically in Titanic. I think at like 12, 13, the like artist who just like wants to live life thing was very, very hot to me.
Yeah.
And also Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like there's no movie in the history of ever, I feel like, got a man as much pussy as Titanic must have gotten Leonardo DiCaprio. So that's why when everyone's always like, oh, he just dates like 22-year-olds, whatever. Like, yeah, like this guy, that was his heyday. Like, you want him to date an accountant now? Like, what's wrong with you?
Not me.
This is as so long as there are 22-year-olds willing to fuck Leonardo DiCaprio, which there always will be.
Yeah.
He's gonna fuck the 22-year-olds.
That's right. The other weird thing about that movie, which I will give the Shapiros of the world, is he's supposed to be like 17 in that movie,
Oh,
and that's just a little weird.
Are they both supposed to be 17 or?
I think so.
Maybe I should research that. But she's getting married to Cal.
All right.
Kaladin Hockley, played by Billy
We've all
Zane.
seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to
No
spoil it.
spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. Yeah.
No spoiler. The wedding doesn't work out. Yeah, I guess they're both young, but he's a 17-year-old boy.
Nice. Titanic's a good movie, and Leonardo DiCaprio should be able to date 20-year-olds.
Yes.
That's what we
Two
want.
things really
That
down.
we want that out there.
In peace, too.
Yeah,
I also read a thing on the internet, unverified, but I've seen it a few times. So that Leonardo DiCaprio fucks with a blindfold on and just like lies there.
I have not heard that, but I've heard.
Huh. Then why do they have to be 22?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a political partnership, you know? I don't think it's necessarily about the sex.
I have not. That's
Well,
bizarre.
When
Is
he
it
comes
good-
on the pod, I'll ask him.
Are there headphones in too? Is it like he wants?
I think it's like blindfolded headphones and he hits his vape the whole time.
So he wants like
Google it.
Yeah.
he wants like only
I saw
Two
several
senses.
Reddit comments who all said the
sensory
same
deprivation,
thing.
Yeah.
sensory deprivation kink.
Yeah, I
Oh.
mean, I guess that
That's probably that exists.
doesn't seem like the weirdest thing
He's
you could be
begging
into.
for a weird celebrity death that's gonna overshadow
Oh,
it all.
it's gonna be crazy.
After vape inhalation.
Dude, a child
Leonardo
star
DiCaprio.
turned teen heartthrob turned Oscar nominated and one time he won actor.
But you hit the vape one time wrong during
Yeah,
sex with the headphones blindfold on.
Yeah.
That's
Death
all we're
by
gonna know you
vape.
for.
Death by sex vape.
Leonardo DiCaprio, the vape sex death guy.
If you're forced to get one word tattooed on your forehead, what would it be?
What, like it could be picture or word?
Yeah.
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
So that's technically
Yeah,
1,000.
so that's 1,000 words. So it feels like cheating a little bit. I think it would be very funny to get a picture of my own face on my forehead.
Yeah.
And then that face
One
has
has
a
another
picture.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's
Like-
like
If you like this one, you're gonna love this one. I mean, I have a favorite word. It's ganache. That's my favorite word.
Ganache.
But I don't think if I want that on my forehead all day, people would just be like, "That's a ganache."
Nice.
ganache is a good word. Like a chocolate ganache.
Yeah, that's a great word.
good.
It also just encapsulates exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know what ganache is, you're like, "Is that like a chocolatey delight?" Yeah, actually is. So, yeah, I would get a
My
QR
own
code
face and QR
And
code for
get-
pencils.
Yeah.
Yeah. QR code for ganache.
for ganache.
What would constitute a perfect day? DAY for you.
Oh, I'm kind of an introvert. I don't know if you are.
Cloudy.
Oh.
Are you from like Seattle or something?
No.
Mhm.
I'm from Los Angeles. So it's kind of like a like a fun new thing when it's cloudy.
Okay.
Because it's sunny all the time and it just gets annoying. And I've lived here my whole life almost, and it's just every time it's cloudy, I'm like, oh, change of pace.
Yeah.
You know. So cloudy. I'm gonna set the scene. That's about all I got so far.
What time do you wake up and what do you do? Or like,
Wake up at a good 10 a.m. I feel like is a good time. It's not too early, not too late. I feel like I've got still morning left, but it's not like ridiculously early.
Do you stay up really late?
No, not usually. Midnight is a
Got it.
usual go to bed time for me.
I'm like 2 hours shifted ahead of you.
So you'd wake up at noon and go to bed at 2 a.m.
Other way.
10 a.m.
So I would wake up
8
at
a.m.
like 8 a.m.
8 a.m. is your ideal wake up time.
if not earlier. Yeah.
Damn.
This is a new thing. Wait till you turn 28. Things
I got a
get-
whole nother 11 months ahead of me.
Things get
now.
different. My ideal day, I would not be in this godforsaken city. I would be in.
Like a rustic mountain cabin, or
Kind of.
one of those glass hotel rooms under the northern lights.
Okay, but this is a whole. Like, what do you do all day?
It's the northern lights.
So it's dark all day.
It's cloudy. You can't see that.
It's cloudy. What are you talking about?
Okay, forget cloudy. I forgot that I can be out of LA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to be
Anywhere
here.
in the world, you can do anything you want.
I've always wanted to go into those shark cages with great white sharks.
Nice.
Shark diving. Yeah.
So sunny for that.
Mhm.
And in a cage surrounded by great white sharks for like an hour. It doesn't even do too long. Once you've seen a couple great white sharks,
Sure.
I feel like you're good, you know? Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic
Yes,
is there.
there he
Yeah,
is.
there you go.
He emerges from
Now we're
beneath
getting there.
the cage.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been down here the whole time. Well, my day ends with Korean barbecue for sure.
Sure. I
Nice.
did I mention earlier in the pod my birthday party was at a Korean barbecue.
You did mention that,
Okay.
but we didn't go into it.
I forgot that I had brought it up, and then you brought up Korean barbecue again. I was like, did I talk about the fact that I rode to Seoul, where we went?
That's a hit
It's a good one.
on Western, and they have another location on Vermont.
Mhm.
This episode is sponsored by Road to Seoul.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the day would end with Korean barbecue. I'd wake up at 8. I would get a nice, delightful coffee. I'm a huge coffee fan. I would be in a very clean space. I would be in probably like Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin.
You could be anywhere in the world, and
Yeah.
you chose Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You are a classic Midwest hater who doesn't know Wisconsin.
Never
All
been.
of you.
Never
Have you
been
been
to
to Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
I've not been.
See, top 5 state.
Because cheese?
No, it's
Cheese isn't even part of your day, though.
It's
You're going to be in
beautiful.
Wisconsin, you're not going to get the cheese?
I'm lactose intolerant.
Beer?
But you're lactose intolerant, you
I
want to
don't
go to
drink.
Wisconsin?
Don't have cheese and beer in your Wisconsin?
Yeah. I love the nature there. I love I love woods, cabin, lake vibe. And if I could do all that and have Korean barbecue at the end of the day, that's just fantastic.
Is there good Korean barbecue in Wisconsin?
Good question. No. No, there's not.
Yeah, okay, so I went with glass hotel room, northern lights, there's a fire going on. It's just me, and I'm just hanging out.
Nice.
Just hang.
And then also, at some point, I go and get into a cage with sharks.
Yeah.
And there's sharks
Yeah, that's
in the northern lights as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a pretty big day.
With Leo.
I can do anything I want that day. That's what I want to do.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't also I would speak to like 2 people the whole day.
Yeah. And
Which two people?
for food, I did stop drinking coffee, unfortunately, but I do like it. So maybe I would drink coffee
Mhm.
and like it would be like a half calf,
Mhm.
like a half calf coffee.
That's the best day ever. Best day I got a half calf. Which 2 people? Like, I have a best friend. Actually, I have 2 best friends that I would want there. I'm not going to say their names.
Tell me their
in case
names.
they see it.
Tell me their names.
No, because everyone's going to, if anyone else
You
sees
think-
it, they're going to be mad that they're not in the 2.
Are they going to be watching this
They're
podcast?
pretty loyal
Yeah.
fans of mine.
Yeah, yeah.
They
But
Google, have
it's
Google
huge.
alerts for your
We're
name.
huge in Wisconsin. Yeah.
They would, yes. They're hysterical, and we'd laugh all day.
Are they
and have great food.
comedians?
No.
Oh.
Funniest people I know are not comedians.
Honestly, same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, no. One of my best friends is funnier than most comedians I
Oh.
know.
This one, we'll give it away, but he's a tennis coach. He's the funniest person I've ever met.
Why would that give it away?
Well, he'll
How
know
many
who it
tennis
is.
Oh,
coach friends
okay.
do you have? Yeah.
I thought to me, I'm like, you think I'm big into the
Hint.
tennis world? Did you
My
see?
friend Miguel.
Did you see the movie Challengers?
I did.
What do you think? As a friend of a tennis coach,
I would say I don't want to be snarky, but it kind of felt like a Disney Channel original with like boner jokes.
Okay, I liked it. I thought it was really good.
The winner of the tennis match gets my phone number.
But that's only a
kidding me?
small part of the movie.
Okay, and then
And then there's an
part,
almost threesome, which I thought was pretty
Pretty
fun.
neat.
It's
But no full threesome, which is my only
Whoa,
complaint
no
about the
spoilers,
movie.
No spoilers.
Because I was under the impression from the trailer, because it directly alluded to a threesome,
thought
that there
that's
was going to
the
be a
movie.
threesome, and there wasn't.
There's another part in the movie during this threesome that doesn't happen, where it's the three of them making out,
Mm-hmm.
and the girl pulls away, but the guys don't
They
realize
just
she
keep
pulled
going.
away.
Mm.
I'm like, who? If there's three people making out, you would notice if one of the three.
Not if you were just really into the guy. The guys are really into each other.
If
That's
there's
the whole
three
thing.
faces and one was gone, you'd be like, hey, the one girl is gone.
The eyes are closed.
So that's what bothered me. I thought it was a little cheesy.
I don't think, unless you've been in that situation, I don't think you can say.
You're right. My bad.
What's the worst fad you were into or a part of?
I had a Tamagotchi for a long time.
Oh,
Tamagotchi.
that's amazing though. Those are fun. I had like
Yeah,
ripped
most-
skinny jeans until like 3 years ago.
Ugh.
Uh,
Worst fad. I feel like most fads that I was into are pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
Tamagotchis. I can't think of any other fads that I was a part
Business casual stand-up comedy.
Time for my big show. Get the Oxford shirt on. That was a bad fad. I don't know. I kind of look back at like every clothing choice I made and I hated it.
We're talking clothing fads.
Can't be anything but clothes come to mind. Yeah.
Did you ever like do a bizarre diet because it was popular?
No, never been a big diet person. I'd say what's a pretty big fad right now that I am very into is hot yoga.
Nice.
That's it's sweeping the nation, and
Is
I
there
love
any
it.
benefit to it being hot, or is it
You know,
you just feel better
you just
after?
feel better. Here's the thing: is that like I've had people be like, there's no scientific evidence that it's like better for your health, or like
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, but then why do I feel better mentally and physically after each time? Like, riddle me that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will fully agree.
So
that's not a bad fad.
it's not a bad fad, but I do think that it is a lot of annoying people do it, and I think that's kind of what makes it kind of maybe not a great fad.
Yeah. No, I never did any diet fads. I guess I tried like the cold plunging fad.
I've done a cold
That
cold
is-
plunge post hot yoga. Change your
Well,
life.
that's
dude.
fine. But like just doing it, it's like you just feel really bad. It's not. It's the opposite of how you feel after hot yoga. You're like, wow, that was.
I feel
so
like
bad.
I've cold plunged and felt good afterwards. Just like putting myself in extreme temperatures makes you feel good afterwards.
Sure.
That's how I do it.
What's the worst date you've ever been on or been taken on?
I do have this.
I have one too.
It gets kind of long, so I don't want to take up too much time with it.
I have one that came to mind. And I don't, maybe I'll see this. There's no way this guy follows me. But I was in New Orleans, and I was in the audience for a band, and the bass player came up to me afterwards, and like we exchanged information, and so he asked to get a drink that night, and we did. And I got my one drink, and then he had maybe 5 drinks over the course of my
This
one
is Paul McCartney. Right?
over my one drink. So watch this guy get progressively drunker as I'm still finishing my one drink. And then he talked to me about jazz the whole time, just at me about jazz. And he was like, and you're a comedian, right? Comedy's kind of like jazz. So he would just like try to bring it back to jazz. Be like, yeah, it's about the jokes you don't tell.
About jazz.
And then he would just be like, and this, like, just so all jazz. And then at one point, at this point, I'm like, all right, this is probably not like working out. And also, I was just
Not
in New
working
Orleans
out.
for a
That's just like jazz.
Yeah.
It never resolves.
And one of the worst parts is that like a couple people he knew walked into the bar at one point, and it was like a girl who was just like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and then he meet you at one of his shows, and I was like, "Yeah." And then so then at that point, I'm like, "All right, I should probably get back. I'm with my friends," and he was like, "All right." He's like, let me walk you back to your hostel. And I was like, it's just a couple blocks. Like, he's like, oh, walk you, whatever. And I was like, okay. And then it's New Orleans. So he takes this now beer to go. And we're walking past another bar. And he goes, hold on, I'm going to get another beer at this bar. He's holding a full beer in his hand already. And then I was like, but you have a full beer in your hand right now. He goes, that's for after this one. And so then I was like, all right, dude. And so then he goes into the bar, comes out with another beer, walk a few other steps. He just goes, hold on. And we stop. And then he pounds the first beer and spills all over himself just on a street corner in New Orleans. And then he offers to drive me back to the hostel that we could see from where we were standing. Clearly a ploy to get me into his car. And
all of these are ploys. Everything you've said is a ploy.
And then finally I'm just like, I'm gonna go back. And then he get back, and then he was like, so that's it? Like, in his mind, this date has been going swimmingly.
Awesome. Yeah.
And he earned an invite into this hostel that I was staying at.
Yeah,
And
come in the 5-bedroom room that I shared.
So are you guys still together? Or?
yeah, no, he did message me like 6 months later and was just like I hadn't spoken to him since, and he was like, I quit that band that you saw me in, and I was like, okay.
That sounds good. glad you.
That's definitely one of the more comically bad dates I've been on.
That was comically. I had like a psycho date where we were supposed to get drinks. And she's like, yeah, come to my place and we'll walk to a bar near me. And I was like, okay. Get to her place, and she goes, actually, I forgot my jacket. Could we go inside and get it? And it was like 70 degrees. And I was like, no way you need a jacket. And I know what you're thinking is like, oh, is this like a hookup thing? We go to inside her apartment. She goes, okay, so I actually don't do dates in public. Can we do our date in here? And she made me sit down.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Her apartment smelled horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Her mattress is on the floor. She has no furniture. She has like one chair for her Zoom meetings. She makes me sit in the Zoom chair. Her apartment is insane. There is blinds pinned to the wall. And I was like, are those blinds on your wall? And she goes, how did you know? Because that's what they are. She has a dress pinned to the wall. It is the most bizarre situation.
Is this off an app?
This is off an app.
Okay.
And she interviews me for like 40 minutes in the Zoom chair. And then she goes, okay, I need to eat dinner now, and all of my pans are in the fridge, so I need to go to Target and get a new pan. So this date's over. And we hugged, and I left her apartment. I thought I was going to get murdered.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That is wow.
I don't do dates in public. I've never heard of that.
I
That's
don't
like
do
the
dates in
opposite
public.
of safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come into my house.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. And that scarred me forever. So
I'm glad you guys are both okay after this.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and end on this one. What changes have you made to your life that improved so much that you wish you did it sooner? Improved your life so much.
Hot
you wish
yoga.
yoga.
I'd say probably
Yoga.
just exercise in general. I never was a big exercise person until a couple years ago, and I feel like believe it or not, it makes you feel and look
Pretty
much
good.
better.
That's extremely similar. I started working out almost a year ago, and it.
What's your workout of choice?
I follow this app that tells me
You're an app guy.
Lift this weight this many times
That's nice.
in this manner.
I can only do workout classes. I learned.
That's
I
fine.
need a person telling me what to do, and I need people around me doing it so that I feel bad if I don't do it. That's my motivator, is just shame.
Shame.
Mhm.
My superpower. Having none of that. So I don't want to just steal yours. I'll try to say another one.
Yeah, get your own thing that you do that makes you feel better.
One thing I started doing that I wish I didn't wish I did earlier was realize that nobody cares about your social media. And no one, if your video is bad, they just move on. And I used to harp on looking at numbers all day. What the heck? But that video has this much, and that has this many, and that guy has
can't
this
do
video.
that.
And this.
Not in
I
this
was like,
world.
Once I got over that, I was like, oh, this is way better.
Nice. Less social media and more working out. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys want to plug anything? Can they find you on socials? Or?
Yes.
Even though they shouldn't be on them.
Don't be on them.
Yeah.
Ryan Goldsher, Goldsher.
I'm real Natasha Collier on both Instagram and TikTok.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for doing it.
Nice to meet you.